Hey, Doug, zoom out for us a little bit if you can, because this has been a really rather dramatic afternoon in French politics. But for people who haven't been following it as closely as we have, just kind of remind us how France has got to this point.
Well, I think, even if you've only been vaguely and remotely following what's been going on here in France, you know that garbage, trash has been piling up on the streets, many parts of Paris and other cities throughout France, because our trash collectors are striking against this reform. You probably know that if you have to take public transport ever, you've had quite a hard time commuting to your workplace or elsewhere, because a lot of the transport in recent weeks has been crippled. We've had serial strikes and movements, 8 large-scale strikes and protest movements to date. And we have had what can only be called an extremely impassioned debate across all sectors of French society, but especially on the French airwaves, about the future of France's very cherished system of social welfare and social protection, something the French have always very much prided themselves on, but which Emmanuel Macron, the president, fears is on the verge of collapse. On the verge of collapse, that system of protections. Why the retirement system? Because there are now people who are living longer in France, retirees, and this is a pattern we see repeated throughout the world right now, are living longer and longer, and there are fewer people of working age who are now paying into the system with their contributions in order to fund and keep that retirement system going. So this has been really almost a bifurcated debate between those who say, such as Macron and his allies, that unless the pension system here in France is saved and saved now, it is heading right off a cliff. And those who say that is disingenuous, that there are many other ways to save the pension system without taking aim at the jugular of French society and French middle class and French workers who are already being hit hard enough by high inflation and low wages and high unemployment. So it's really driven to the heart of French society. And what we've seen in recent weeks, seeing the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands marching on the streets, even if their numbers have been waning in more recent protests, in the last week or so, there's still very much a real wellspring of anger against these reforms, as borne out by public opinion polls showing that still a good majority, well over 50% of French, at one point 2/3 of them being staunchly opposed to this reform. Doesn't necessarily mean all of them are opposed to Emmanuel Macron, but on this particular issue, which they see as sort of symbolic of a lot of the things he campaigned on and made his sort of legacy issue, they're very much opposed to it. So if you thought things were already tense in France over the past, couple of weeks, couple of months, stand by, because passions are about to be even more inflamed.
Indeed, we will see what happens, I suppose, even just later on today. For now, Douglas Herbert, our foreign affairs commentator, thank you very much. We're going to keep watching this story for you.